Italy, then the American South. Doctors are watching something horrifying happen to entire villages. People's skin is cracking open in the sun. Their minds are slipping. Confusion, hallucinations, madness. Then slowly, they die. Doctors call it the 4 Ds: dermatitis, diarrhea, dementia, death. Nobody knows why. Rich people don't get it. Only the poor do. And there's one thing every single victim has in common. The only thing they can afford to eat: corn. The strange part, the very people who invented corn thousands of years earlier never got sick from it. Not once. So what did they know that the rest of the world didn't? That secret is where our story begins. 9,000 years ago, in the highlands of southern Mexico, farmers were staring at a wild, scraggly grass called teosinte. It had maybe 5 or 6 tiny hard kernels, nothing like what we picture as corn today. It wasn't even that useful. But those farmers noticed something, and they started selecting the plants with slightly bigger kernels, generation after generation. It took thousands of years, but eventually, that useless grass became something else entirely. A fat, golden cob packed with food. It was one of the greatest feats of genetic engineering in human history, and it happened without a single scientist. Just patient farmers and time. For the Aztec and Maya civilizations, corn wasn't just food, it was sacred. Maya creation myths say humans themselves were literally made from corn dough. Entire cities, calendars, and religions were built around this plant. Corn was civilization. But the same plant that built these empires was about to leave the Americas, and something would go terribly wrong along the way. Something nobody would understand for 400 years. Columbus returns from the Americas, and among the strange new goods he brings back is corn. Within decades, it spreads everywhere. Spain, Italy, West Africa, China. Farmers everywhere love it instantly. It grows fast, it grows in bad soil, and it produces more food per acre than almost anything else on Earth. It should have been a miracle crop for the whole world. But here's the thing nobody thought to pack along with it: the recipe. For thousands of years, indigenous Americans never ate corn plain. They always soaked and cooked it first in an alkaline solution, water mixed with wood ash or crushed limestone. This process is called nixtamalization, and it wasn't just about taste or texture. It was medicine, and nobody outside the Americas knew it existed. Here's the science in plain terms. Corn naturally contains a vitamin called niacin, vitamin B3, but it's chemically locked up in a form the human body can't absorb. Lime or ash treatment unlocks it. Without that step, a person can eat corn every single day and still slowly starve of a vitamin their body desperately needs. Indigenous farmers had solved this puzzle without ever knowing the chemistry behind it. They just knew you always treat the corn first. It was tradition, it was passed down, it worked. But when corn left the Americas, it left that step behind. By the late 1800s and early 1900s, millions of poor farmers across southern Europe and the American South were eating corn as their main food, untreated, straight from the field. And the disease doctors couldn't explain, Pellagra, tore through entire regions. In the American South alone, Pellagra killed over 100,000 people in the early 20th century. whole mental asylums filled with patients, not because they were mentally ill, but because they were vitamin-starved. Doctors blamed germs, heat, even bad blood. Governments blamed poverty and laziness. Nobody looked at the food itself. It took until the 1930s for an American doctor, Joseph Goldberger, to finally prove pellagra wasn't contagious. It was nutritional. He practically had to force-feed himself and his colleagues infected material from patients just to be believed. An answer that farmers in Mexico had already known for 3,000 years. Fast forward to today, and corn didn't just survive its dark chapter. It became the single most dominant crop on the planet. The United States alone grows enough corn each year to circle the earth if you lined up every cob end to end, many times over. But here's the part that might genuinely surprise you. Almost none of that corn is the kind you'd eat off a cob at a barbecue. Most of it is a variety called field corn or dent corn, and it doesn't go to dinner plates first. It goes into everything else. It's broken down into corn syrup, cornstarch, and high fructose corn syrup, sweetening sodas, cereals, and sauces. It feeds the cattle and chickens that become our meat. It's fermented into ethanol that fuels cars. It's even in cardboard, batteries, and toothpaste. Estimates suggest corn-derived ingredients show up in roughly 3 out of every 4 items in an average grocery store. The same plant that once poisoned people because they didn't understand it is now hidden inside almost everything we eat. And most of us don't understand that either. That's the twist of corn's story. It genuinely helped end famines. It feeds livestock that feeds billions of people. Heavy government subsidies made it cheap enough to end up in nearly every processed product on shelves worldwide. But cheap, abundant corn also reshaped how the whole world eats, pushing sugar-heavy, calorie-dense, nutrient-thin food into daily diets everywhere. Quietly linked by researchers to the rise of modern obesity and diabetes rates over the last half-century. The same plant, the same story, really. A crop so powerful, so efficient, that when people don't fully understand what they're consuming, it can build them up or wear them down. It happened with pellagra a century ago. Some researchers argue a version of the same blind spot is happening again, just with sugar instead of vitamins. Corn never changed. It's still the same plant those first farmers in Mexico shaped over thousands of years. What changed is whether the people eating it understood what they were holding in their hands. That's really the story behind almost every food we cover on this channel. It's never just about the plant. It's about the knowledge that traveled with it, or didn't. If you want more hidden histories like this one, the stories behind the food on your plate that textbooks never taught you, that's exactly what this channel exists for. So hit subscribe right now, turn on the notification bell, and join us as we keep digging up the truth, one crop at a time.